full year among the men of the community. So you have an initiation period here, and then some of the things that he does wrong. If he lies about his property, that's in the book of Acts. They shall separate him from the purity of the many, that's the pure food that they consume, for 1 year, and he will do penance with a quarter of the bread. If he answers his brother rudely, 26, or speaks impatiently, insulting his honor, like many of you do to me, and disobeying the authority of a fellow, inscribed in the ledger ahead of him, has raised his hand against it, he will do penance for 1 whole year. I don't know what the penance is. And he shall be excluded. If any man utters the glorious name in a blasphemous manner, whether in jest or as a result of some reversal or for any other reason, even while reading the book or praying, he shall be expelled. These are asking to expel, but serious expulsion. And shall return to the community no more. I like this part of the book. This is clear to me. And if he speaks to one of the priests inscribed in the book in anger, he shall do penance for 1 year. So it gives all the penances here, the punishments for different infractions, you see. Like, for instance, like you like to do in a department meeting. And the same, whoever leaves the session of the many without permission up to 3 times in one sitting to go to the bathroom, like, or something. 10 days penance.
30.
Well, but if he gets up and leaves, 30 days penance. The previous line, 11, was 10 days, I think. But it's all right. It's the same spirit. You like this stuff, huh? And if he unnecessarily walks around naked before his brother, 3 months penance. I just don't know what the penance is. And if the man spits in the midst of a session, like we all do in this class, or the football players do on the field, or the baseball players are always spitting everywhere, the coaches, everybody, 30 days. And whoever is so carefully attired that when he takes his hand from under his cloak, his nakedness becomes visible. Ooh, nasty, nasty. 30 days. And if someone guffaws out loud so foolishly that his voice can be heard, 30 days. Now that penalty is in the Damascus document. So the two start overlapping here in these penalties. Not in this, some of the parts of the Damascus document, the legal parts, the later parts that we didn't read. You can find it, but there's overlap, and it's not clear these are 2 separate documents. I love these things. And whoever raises his left hand and gesticulates with it, 10 days. But whoever slanders his brother shall be excluded from the pure food and do penance a year. I know some slanderers of the brothers. And whoever goes about slandering the many, he shall be expelled and never return. That's what I think happens to some of the folks we're familiar with. I won't keep harping the names. The reason I mentioned that particular person that we know is because we have the books that he writes. We know what he says. And he does murmur and he does slander. And, they would get him. And he returned no more, but if he has only murmured against his fellow without justification, okay, 6 months. Wow, I like these punishments, huh? We should apply these here at this university a bit, huh? Column 8, we're finally there. Well, there was one here that I missed here that I can't find. Anyway, let's do column. This stuff starts getting good again, and in the council of the community, 12 men and 3 priests. So this is a special group that runs everything, and it has 12, like 12 apostles, and 3 inner people who they call priests. Now, I'm not sure if they mean 12 plus 3 or 12 with 3 included. In the Gospels, it's 12 with 3 included. Here, it could be 12 plus 3. You'd have to, it's not clear here which it is. But there is a central 3, obviously. And we've read all this before. They do truth, righteousness, so that the council be established upon truth like an eternal plantation, a house of holiness for Israel, holy of holies for Aaron. That is allegorical exegesis. In other words, they're doing, the community council is the temple, like in Christianity. The Jesus people consider themselves the temple. And the 3 priests are the Holy of Holies, or the inner sanctum of the temple. But you see, they have to behave like that. They are the offering of a pleasing fragrance. They are a house of perfection and truth in Israel. To establish an everlasting covenant of laws, however, And they will set aside as holy within the council of the men of the community, that is, they will be not consecrated ones, Nazarites, set aside. And the guide will not hide from them, the guide, not the blind guide, the good guide. And with these in existence in Israel for community, and according to these regulations, they shall separate from the midst of the habitation of the men of unrighteousness to go into the wilderness, to prepare the word of the Lord. And as it is written, prepare the way of the Lord. Prepare in the wilderness the way of our God. Make straight in the desert a pathway for our God. You know, we finally got up to where we wanted to go. You didn't expect this was coming, but here it is. That is so powerful. That just knocks you over. And the people who don't tell you that this is here, neglect to mention it, forget to discuss it, they are doing you a disservice. They are not being fair to the documents, nor the connections with documents we're all familiar with. Because you cannot get it any clearer than that, can you? That's about as clear as you can get it. Only the people who go by that particular way of that presentation don't like it, because the way in the wilderness is the study of the Torah, as he commanded by the hand of the Moses, and that's not the way it's seen by them. And which the prophets have revealed through the Holy Spirit. The Holy Spirit is familiar, but it's the prophets revealing Torah in addition to Torah. And anyone who deliberately turns aside from any commandment at any point, there we go again. Not one jot or tittle, the law shall disappear. Shall not approach the purity of the men of holiness. So who are the men of holiness? The Kiddushim of Daniel, right? The holy ones. They're just peaceful at the moment, but wait till they have to go to war. Then they're holy warriors, aren't they? This is like almost like a Templar association. That's why there's so much fascination with Templars, holy knights. And until he once more walks in perfection of the way. Again, 21. All these are the judgments of which the men of perfect holiness, that's perfect holiness, you can't get much more perfect than that. All coming to the council of holiness to walk in perfection of the way. That means the community of Nazareth, in the manner commanded. And any man of them who breaks, that's where I think the word Nazarene, Christ as a Nazareth, I think it comes from that, this community of Nazareth. I may be wrong. New Testament says, no, it's geographical. It means coming from Nazareth. I don't think that's what it means. I don't even know if Jesus came from Nazareth, frankly. Any man of them who breaks one word of the Torah of Moses, overtly or covertly, shall be expelled from the community. Now, that my translation of 22 differs from Vermesh, and I'm right. I don't remember what Vermesh has, but it's whether overtly or covertly. What does Vermesh say for line 22?
Who deliberately or through negligence